Well, in prison, a lot of times, in certain prisons, you have rapes. How often were those rapes happening when you were locked up?
See, I ain't never seen nobody get raped because I ain't walking around prison looking for nobody booty getting took. You see what I'm saying? I did, but it goes on and a lot of times, you know, and I'm being honest, Vlad, and it might sound cruel if it won't. A lot of times, them dudes don't get raped. You know, they turn around when somebody find out what happened or somebody walk up and say that. A lot of them, they get up. You know, it be in them. They just be soft. They be scared. They be killers and gangsters out here on these streets, and they get up in prison and a lot of them don't be raped. Dudes be lying when they be on here talking about every prison they doing a whole lot of rape. No, they don't. Them dudes be getting up there turning themselves out. You know.
Well, you did say that some rapes happen after the victims get drugged.
Yeah, you know, and that was happening when I seen it, you know, or when not seen it, knowing it's when I first came in the system, you know. It was happening in certain spots. Dude, they getting, if you just keep on running over here and they be plotting on, oh, you want to keep getting drunk? All right, and get them drunk and molest them. You know, so, but they been and put that on themselves too, though. Why you keep going up in there with them two and people to tell you stay out that room with them booty bandits over there? You understand what I'm saying? If a person tell you that them two guys over there, that's what they own. They always trying to turn out little boys. They always messing with, you know, homosexuals. Stay from out there. But no, you want to go sit up in there and drink the jailhouse hooch and get drunk. Hey, yeah, they ain't rape you.
Now, you end up tying up some guys in prison at one point?
Oh, I tied up a lot of dudes. But I tied up one, though, like, that's real. I was trying to escape. And I tied him up and duct tape him, you know, put toilet paper and stuff all fill his mouth up with and tied his mouth up and put him up under the bunk and got his identity. You know, now I done made bond. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about my people done paid the bondsman. I'm signing the papers to go out. I'm finna walk out the door. And as I'm walking out the door, the lieutenant coming in. And the lieutenant, the man tell me, he called the name out. Like, hey, don't you come back here, whoop-de-whoop. The lieutenant look at me and like, who you say? He's like, hold up, shut that door. And when he shut that door, they capped me.
Well, at one point, you end up meeting Big Meech in the hole?
Yeah, man, Big Meech was in Atlanta. We was in the hole, both of us wind up, I was going to the smoot at first, and they wind up smooting him. That's special management unit in Lewisburg. And then I was in Lewisburg with him. Yeah, we was in the hole together, did a lot of little talking, you know what I'm saying? And then when I first came home, he was in Forest City with my little nephew, with little Rico, and, you know, they was selling, so I talked to him on the phone.
Well, you actually talked about how you didn't like how 50 Cent was beefing with Big Meech because 50 knew about some incriminating information about him from the start?
Yeah, but this is my thing, though, right? 50, listen, holler at me. You want to make a movie of a real man. You hear me? I ain't going to say that real N-word, but you want to make a real movie, come to Baton Rouge. Come on up out of Sweet Poke. Better come to Baton Rouge, holler at Flav. But yeah, though, but me, Meech, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know how Meech 50 was. I would have never even fooled with it. If you got any skeletons in your closet, leave 50 alone. You feel me? If anything wrong with you, Vlad, leave 50 alone. That's how that's how he is. He gonna get you.
Well, you and Larry Hoover were locked up together?
Yeah, we was in Marion together. That's a control unit.
Okay. What was Larry like?
Hey, man, I learned a lot from the old man, you know, for real. And I think he need, man, he need to be freed all the way, for real. Because, you know, yeah, he got influence. We all know that. But the influence could stop a whole lot that don't nobody won't stop. When you got enough power for the controlled peace, you know, you is a problem. But yes, sir, you know, yeah, shout out to the old man. You know, free Larry Hoover real soon. You know, but there's a lot of them. Doc Holliday, you know what I'm saying? BGF, you know, Dr. Shakur, you know. Man, you know, all them old men, man, they need to be freed, though. You know, and I was in the control unit and had conversations with all of them. you know, the old head, the L Rookers, you know, Bajai and them, Rajai and them back in the, you know what I'm saying? I done sat down and really had conversations with these old men, and I'm talking about because I was in so much stuff, you know, and I was so wild today took a liking to me, and I always try to like, come on now, youngin', slow down. You ain't got, man, I got life sentence, I'm gonna die. You're not gonna die in here. Stop saying that. You know, and as I got older, I started, like I say, being in solitary confinement, I started, you know, listening and hearing that, you know, but them, you know, who I, you know, they not just, you know, myths. You know, they not, you know, 50 can't just get their story and then turn around and say they did nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, but it's a lot of them, though, Vlad, though they still up in there, man. They in ADX now, they closed Marion down. That's where we was at first. That was the first control unit. But after I got out of Marion, you know what I mean? So I was on so much, you know, I was on the psychic evaluation. So I couldn't go too many control units.
Well, Boosie would actually send you money in prison.
Who? Boosie?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Matter of fact, listen, I got out the Smoot. I left, I got out for Big Meech. That's right, I left Big Meech in the Smoot program in Lewisburg. And I went down when I got out. And when I got out of the Smoot, they had what you call the little MP3 players. When I left and went in the program, we ain't had no MP3 players. You know, so I ain't know nothing about that. You can go to the computer, download your music. They had all that when I came out that time there, because I did 2 terms up in the Smoot. I did like about 5 years up in there. But he sent me what it was. I told him they had this music on there, and he told me what I said, man, I need about $1,000 to pull out of me. Sent $5,000 to me. You know what I'm saying? Talking about get this music up off the computer. You know, if I need a lawyer, you know what I'm saying? And my man was out, you know, and he'll tell you today, I told him, listen, I ain't finna let you spend no more money on no lawyer. You know, them lawyers ain't gonna do nothing for me. I got this here. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he did. I got to give him, you know, I gave him his prop. But, you know, again, you know, a lot of them they do, they try to help me. You know, I appreciate it.